This is an Uber driver. Look at what happened. This girl is lucky, and I mean absolutely lucky, to be alive. She used her survival skills to get out of this one, but not everyone gets that lucky, and the companies have a lot to do in the field of safety for drivers. Now, her only way out, Uber driver credits trick for surviving brutal attack. Ladies and gentlemen, this happened in a country that I deemed top 2 most dangerous countries to drive in. It's just not worth it, right? If you want to end up like this, if you want to end up 6 feet under the ground, go ahead and drive for Uber in Brazil or other countries. But it's even getting to this level here in America. Why? Because there's absolutely no checks and balances who gets on the platform. An Uber driver who was allegedly beaten up by 4 teenage muggers. So she was mugged by 4 teenagers before being thrown off a tall bridge. I'll show you how high that bridge is. Into a river. Credits playing dead for the fact that she escaped with her life. Just imagine that. Get attacked by 4 teenagers, and you'll see what this girl went through. Then she gets thrown off a bridge. Then she pretends she's alive. And then these dudes leave. Marcia Angola, 40, was allegedly assaulted by the 14 boys during a mugging in the Brazilian city of Tangara da Serra on July the 24th. They called for me by app, and we stopped on a corner where they said they would fetch another person. So these are the thugs, right? And you'll see their background later. They have multiple convictions. These are the thugs that Dara allows on the platform. Right, Dara? You are responsible for this. Just look at this lady and understand that you caused this. Why? Because you don't vet the drivers. You actually let 4 convicted teenagers on the platform, right? They called this lady, right? They called for me by the app, and when we stopped on a corner, they said they would fetch another person. But that person did not exist, and they announced the mugging, she told local reporters. She claims the 14s threw her onto her taxi's back seat, where they allegedly threatened her, demanding money and the car. As they deemed the money in the car to be insufficient, they allegedly blindfolded Marcia and drove at breakneck speed. At a certain point, I pulled off the blindfold, and I think that's what got them angry. They started beating me, punching me, and said they were going to throttle and kill me. Teenagers, 4 teenagers, right? That were on the platform. Dara, when are you going to do something about this? Really? Do we need another Marcia and another Marcia and another Marcia getting beat up, stabbed, or killed? So you guys need to circulate this video, right? Because this becomes embarrassing for the company when we continuously call them out and the public sees, hang on, they're not doing anything. They're not doing absolutely anything. They're not vetting the riders. They don't have a security system in place to get a good, clean background riders on the platform. No. Any thug, any criminal, any murderer, any pedophile, any piece of shit can get onto this platform. My only way out was to play dead, she said. However, Marcia said she was unable to hide that she was winded, and she took a deep breath. He saw I was alive, and the others said, let's kill her, squeeze her neck. At no point did they reveal their motive. At one point they laughed at my swollen and bruised face. Then they threw her off this bridge. The 4 alleged muggers pulled over at a tall bridge over the Sepatuba River, where Marcia said they beat her again. What type of individuals, what type of teenagers, what type of men, what type of humans do this? Fucking savages, right? I hope they get raped in jail, these 4 male teenagers. I hope they pay the price. They were scared someone would show up, and they lifted me up by my hands and feet, and they threw me off that bridge. Marcia said she was scared she would die, as she did not know how to swim. When I fell, I just remember I asked God that I fall in the water because I had fallen to the ground, I would have died. I sank, and when I surfaced, I saw they were looking. I stayed quiet and sank again. I let the water take me downstream. I tried to balance myself, sort of floating, because I did not know how to swim, and I could not sink. It's terrible. That's the car that they fled in. The suspects fled with Marsha's vehicle to the nearby municipality of Nova Olympia, where they allegedly robbed a watch shop. Look, let me tell you how the story continues. When she realized the alleged muggers had left, she managed to get out of the water and ask local residents for help. She was taken to the hospital. The suspects fled with Marsha's vehicle to the nearby municipality of Nova Olympia, where they allegedly robbed a watch shop. Now they try to kill this girl, and afterwards they try to rob a watch shop. What type of people are we dealing with here? Right? Cops caught up with them back in Tangara de Serra, where they were allegedly caught with their stolen goods, including the victim's car and documents. The officers, here it comes. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Dara, listen. I want to make sure that Dara, Koshashawi, Tony West, and all the executives, all that trash executive team hear this part, right? Because I have to make this very, very clear. The officers arrested the teenagers that were on this platform, that ordered this app, who had prior criminal records and allegedly used a toy gun to carry out the attack, who had prior criminal records. That is who gets into our cars. That is why females and males end up looking like this, right? Or worse, they die and they get buried by their loved ones because these Uber executives and Lyft executives fail to address the very, very important issue to both drivers and riders. It's called safety, Dara. It's called safety, Logan Green. And I ask you again, Dara, how did these 4 criminals with criminal past get on the platform and beat this beautiful lady to pulp? You need to look yourself in the mirror when you brush your teeth tomorrow morning in your fancy residence with your $42 million bank account and say, how did I cause this? I tell you how you cause this. Because you failed to act. Because you failed to spend the money where it counts most. Our lives are important, right? We don't drive in these insecure, dangerous areas anymore. And I ask everyone, please, if you're in Brazil, stop driving. If you're in South Africa, stop driving. If you're in dangerous parts of America where this happens over and over again and they fail to do anything about this, stop driving, because you do not want to end up as a statistic, right? So it's up to them. They call him the math guy. If he wants to spend some math on safety, if he wants to actually do something about that app and make sure that criminals don't get onto the platform, maybe then women like Marsha wouldn't have to go through this. Ladies and gentlemen, please be safe out there. Please be vigilant. Please have your 360 radar on at all times. Please have your dash cam on at all times. Please invest the money into stickers or deterrence, because these CEOs ain't doing anything for you, right? Please spend the money on tear gas, or maybe a baton, or maybe if you're in a city where you can carry a gun. I would have killed these 4 teenagers. I would have shot them dead if they did this to my daughter, if they tried to do this to me. Dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. No way on earth any driver or rider should have to tolerate this, right? And I understand why some people in states that are allowed to carry guns actually have a concealed weapon, because they don't want to end up as a statistic, right? I would never, ever want this to happen to any of my family members. If this happened, I would go ballistic. I can tell you what, I would go after Dara. If this happened to one of my daughters, I would go after Dara. I can tell you that, right? Because I would hold him responsible for this nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, please share and share and share on social media and tweet and attach. I showed you how to attach their names. And tweet it out to Uber support, tweet it out to Dara Koshashawi, tweet it out to Logan Green, make multiple tweets. Enough is enough. How many marshes do we still have to hear about? Have a good day.